Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor, and today we're going to be starting a new legendary campaign for Total War Warhammer 2 with the Tomb Kings, and we're going with Khatep here. Okay, so I will just come out and say this is one of the most difficult campaign start positions in the game. It's right up there with Skarsnik in terms of difficulty level. The reason is you're very isolated from all of the other Tomb King factions, so you're not going to be able to get good relations with them and trade with them, and you're really far away from the desert, which is your most hospitable land there. So what that means is you're going to have a lot less income. All three of the other Tomb Kings start over here in the desert on Mortal Empires. This is the Mortal Empires campaign, by the way. So they all start over here, and in my opinion, they're all much, much easier than Khatep is. Now, Archon is a little bit harder because they're not going to like him, but at least he's in a hospitable territory. So this is the only desert in this area, for the most part. So that means you're going to have a lot of orange territories around you, which is going to lower your public order, which kind of sucks, but the thing that's really bad is it's going to increase your construction cost by 30%, and the Tomb King buildings are very expensive, and you don't have a lot of gold. As you can see, I'm only getting 45 per turn right now. Tomb Kings are very, very poor, at least early on. They don't even get a lot off of battles or sacking or any of that. They have a really hard time earning income. However, once you get your infrastructure built up, you can get units, and your units don't have any upkeep. So you don't have upkeep, but you also don't have much money. And so the real cost then is the startup cost of getting those buildings, which are very expensive. So having a 30% increase to cost is a really, really big deal. And most places around here are going to be orange. There are a couple of greens sprinkled in, which do not have the penalty. But effectively, this means that it's going to cost Khatep like 30% more on all of his buildings than any of the other factions. There are also some other bonuses. So like in the tech tree, for example, if you go for this guy early on, he gets +8 when fighting in the desert, which would be really good if you were one of the other factions. But yeah, just not being in the desert is pretty rough, But I do like Khatep. It is interesting. I don't often like casters, but I like the challenge here of this. Another really hard part about this start is everything around you is destroyed, pretty much, and so you have to colonize if you want anything. That's even worse than someone owning it and you taking it from them, because you have to colonize, which is you're gonna have to sit there and replenish. It's gonna cost you extra gold, about 2,000 gold to colonize, and then you're gonna have to build up the growth from scratch. So it's 2,000 to colonize. It's gonna hurt your army. It's gonna make you susceptible to an attack by any outsider. Then I believe it's 800 to make the just the basic settlement, and I think it's 1,600 for the. No, 800 for the tier 1, 1,600 for the tier 2, and then 3,200 for the tier 3. So that means it's very, very expensive, and you just don't have money. So this is a really, really tough start position. And I'm going to walk through the text, the skills, the mortuary cult, all of this stuff over time. I'm going to see if we can get a fight in here, but in the first couple episodes, I'm going to go over all of that stuff. You might be wondering, well, why did I start here instead of the basic screen where I usually start my campaigns for other campaigns? The reason is I wanted to start in-game on turn 1 to make sure that I have a decent Book of Nagash that's nearby, because you need it. You really do. So the 2 Books of Nagash, and you get these basically by holding certain territories or fighting these rogue armies. You get bonuses. So this one allows you to get Shadow Magic, which is really powerful and effective and complements the Tomb Kings very well. Especially a huge problem with the Tomb Kings, and I have played through, I got a 35-turn campaign and a couple others just to learn this stuff before I brought you the info, because I don't want to be one of those people that just shows up, it's like, oh, here we go, you know, another legendary campaign where I don't explain anything and I don't focus on the strategy at all. I want to have good, informed decision-making so I can help you play a better campaign on your own. But one of the huge weaknesses of the Tomb Kings is you do not have infantry superiority units. Okay, so you don't have things like the Sword Masters of Hoeth, you don't have the Harganeth Executioners, the Dark Elves, you don't have any way as an infantry unit to deal with other hardcore infantry units. Okay, and so this means you're very, very susceptible to halberds, because your biggest, best units are all large units, large monstrous units, basically, the constructs. So halberds will tear you up. And you know who just happens to have really good halberds? The Dark Elves. Blackguard and Agaron. You know who else has good halberds? The Lizardmen with the Temple Guard. And that's pretty much what we're going to be fighting. Most of this campaign is going to be a lot of Dark Elves and some Lizardmen as we move into the later stages. So you don't really have a good solution to that. These halberds will just massacre your large units. And you have a lot of armor. You also don't have armor-piercing archers, except for the Ashopti with great bows, but you're not going to have many of those. So this puts you in quite the quandary, because once they get to tier 4, it's going to be almost impossible to beat their large armor. You really don't have much armor piercing at all. Like, you do have some halberds here, will have a little bit of armor piercing, but as far as, like, your infantry, it's rough. It's really rough. So, that's why we need Shadow Magic. Shadow Magic is going to give us Pit of Shades, which does huge armor-piercing magic damage, and it also gives us the Penumbral Pendulum, which does quite a lot of magic damage. It's a wind spell. So these are both pretty good, and this later on will be a great complement to the constructs. 40% extra damage will be really nice. It's very expensive, but it's nice. So this is something that we desperately need, is direct magic. Lore of Death is okay. You know, you can go Fate of Buna. I have thought about this route before to try to do a ton of magic damage to the Blackguard of Nagarond. But the rest of this is kind of lackluster. Like, this is good against lightly armored targets. Doom and Darkness doesn't matter on Legendary. They're all going to get +8 leadership anyways, and the Blackguard and Nagaron have like 80 leadership, so it's not going to work. This is good for taking out Lords. Now, the Lore of Nekara is decent. It does buff your constructs for only 4. You get 20 on your big construct, so that's nice, and this gives a lot of defense to your constructs. This is good missile piercing damage if you get the Ashopti with great bows. Now, I don't know how much damage this does, but just looking at the picture, or the demonstration here, it doesn't look like it does very much damage. It slows people. It just says causes damage, though, not a lot of damage. So I assume it's a very low amount of damage, so it's not going to be enough to really be meaningful. Now, this does look good, but it's a randomly moving vortex. The good thing about the Shadow Magic is that vortex stays in place. So it just sits in one place when you do the Pit of Shades. So that's really what makes this better than a lot of other magic out there. So that is sweet. So that's what we want. So we're going to get the Shadow Magic. I think that you have to restart, and you have to get a campaign where this right here, which is the easiest book to get, I think, if we just go kill that army. It needs to be the Shadow Magic, or it needs to be this, where you get like 15 extra units and an extra army. That's massive as well. This one's okay. Like, that one's garbage. That's garbage. That's garbage. That's okay. And that's pretty good. But I feel like you just need to restart your campaign if you're not getting the 6th Book of Nagash here or this one. It has to be one of those two up here. Okay. So, a strategy that I'm thinking of here, you have to attack these people. What are they? Karand. You have to hit Karand as soon as they occupy this. Okay, so you have to leave this here as bait. They'll come take it pretty soon. You have Beastmen roving all around, so they're going to be Beastmen here. There's going to be another band of them south, another band of the north. And this is a very long, wide province, and you have virtually no defense early on. So that means that you actually don't want to occupy these early, because they're not going to give you a lot of anything. You're not going to have a lot of growth. They're not going to give you much money. And it's going to make you susceptible to incursions from the Beastmen. So they're just going to raid these territories or attack them and burn them. So you really don't want to try to take this yet. What you want to do, and what my strategy is going to be, we'll get a quest. I forgot what turn it is, but like turn 5 or 6, we'll get a quest where, or an event, I should say, where you get to pick a hero that you want. Alright, you'll get to choose from a Necrotect, a Lich, or a the combat guy. you want the Necrotect, and then put the Necrotect in your army. That will count as an action. You can buy this. As soon as you put this in a ruins, it'll give you a level 3. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to wait on this. We're going to get that right. We're going to send him up here, and then we're going to colonize the capital to where it's tier 3. It'll have better defenses, and that'll let us jump straight to the Ashapti. That's going to be our overall strategy. The Ashapti are quite strong early on. They're tier 3 monstrous beasts, and I say this about all the campaigns. Usually the strongest things to rush are tier 3 monstrous infantry, whether that's like trolls. I think the werewolves for Norska or whatever they are, the werekin, are really strong. Crypt horrors, rat ogres, almost a lot of the factions have a tier 3 monstrous infantry, and the faster you can get to that, the better. These things just tear stuff up. They usually have really high mobility, really good armor piercing, and they just beat everything else that's going on at that tier most of the time. So the Shopti are really nice. They have a ton of armor. Very good. They have low leadership, which kind of sucks, but we can overcome that just with good positioning and some spells and management. We can deal with that if we keep him close to our lord and such. Very low charge bonus. That kind of sucks. He does have decent speed, so he can flank around. Now, his melee attack is on the low side, but there are a lot of buffs you can get to him. You can easily get them to about 50 or so melee attack, kind of in the mid-game, with a bunch of the buffs I'm going to show you as we explain some more about the campaign. He does get +5 versus infantry, so he basically starts at 28 melee attack. But this is what we want. We want the Ashapti. One of the big reasons for that is there's a general that we're going to work towards, this guy. So these are the techs here, who give you +2 Ashapti, which is a huge deal. Anything that gives you unit capacity is going to be great. So that's the guy that we want to start with. He also gives you extra bonus for Tomb Guard and Embedded Heroes, which is pretty good. Ward save, melee attack, and defense for Hero Titans, or Hyro Titans. We have those. We have one in our army, so that's good. And then extra Tomb Guard stuff. So this is all really good. So it's a good Lord. It facilitates our strategy. It does give them all +6 melee attack, which is great as well. We'll get 3 of them right off the bat. And then this is too expensive to get. But then with our next set, so we want to use our Canopic Jars there. And with our next Canopic Jars, we probably want to try to get this, which will give them Frenzy. So that'll give them an extra 12% damage and 8 melee attack. So that'll be pretty sweet. So Canopic Jars are something that you get over time. You basically start with plus anywhere between 5 to 8 of them to start with, because all of these heroes, you get 2 Lich Priests right off the bat, and they can get this Jar Hoarder. You get the extra Canopic Jars, and you use them there. You also use them in the Mortuary Cult. We'll talk about this really quickly. We'll talk about it more as the campaign goes on, but you get these extra, it's kind of like Regiments of Renown. You do have normal Regiments of Renown also, but you get these guys, and it's really important to unlock these as soon as you can. Now, one thing that sucks with this start position, this is so different from Cetra. Cetra's like a walk in the park compared to this, is you have to have these to unlock this. Golden Idols. This is only on gold mines. The closest golden idol is down here in Hexaodal. Like, so I have to run across the whole map because there are none up here unless I get them through trade. So that means that I'm not going to be able to build any of those things in the Mortuary Cult except for the Flock of Jaff, which we'll get. But that does suck. Now, you can craft items. It does cost a lot of jars. I don't think most of these are worth it. You will get normal items. This is good. This is probably worth it. Having a Bound Spell Banishment, 2 casts of Banishment, which is a really strong Vortex spell. That's actually quite good. You can only get one of the epic ones, but the other ones you can get a bunch, so it's repeatable. But you really don't want to be wasting your jars on this for a lot of those. So that one's good. I won't walk through all of them, but most of them are pretty bad. That's only if you're hurt. It's okay. Probably not worth it. This is decent. Armor of Dawn. This is actually pretty good. The regen's pretty good. But once again, you need the golden idol heads. We might be able to get this one if we have a bunch of jars. But we'll see. The banishment one's definitely worth getting. That's awful. I mean, it's okay, but it's not worth the cost. Ouroboros. Once again, it's okay. It's not amazing. Okay, not amazing. This Collar of Chikara is actually alright. Arcane Item. Now, this is one that I might actually try to get sort of early. This one's affordable. It's only 100. It gives you Obsidian and Timber. And this is something, it's not consumable, so you can use it multiple times in a battle. It's got a 90-second recharge time, and it gives you improved power recharge and reserves. Now, it's effective proportional to the number of friendly units in range. So if you just throw yourself into the middle of a huge pile of your skeletons, I think you would get a lot of magic back, but I'm not sure. So that one very well could be a good bargain for 100. And I can actually get Obsidian and Logs. Those are both pretty close to my start position. So that's actually doable. And this is really neat. I'm kind of thinking of a strategy around this. So basically, you get a lot of magic resist, 66% magic resist. So what you could do is cast a bunch of vortex spells, like just drop like 3 vortex spells right on top of a huge area and make your own people relatively immune to the magic. It's something I'm considering. Another thing is with these huge monstrous units that you have, like the Hero Titan, you can just get a bunch of other units to clump around them and then cast the vortex spells on top of them. So we'll see. We'll see. But what we're going to do right now... Okay, so we're just going to... And I hate doing this at the beginning of campaigns. But we're going to have to chill. We're going to have to be patient. Usually I can just go out guns blazing, but you can't do that or you're going to die. These Beastmen can beat you up early until you hire some more units. Okay, so we're going to put a Lich Priest here. Another thing that you have to do early on is you want to cycle through when you hire your Lich Priest. You want to get a really good passive. So Knowledgeable is pretty good. +5. Winds of Magic everywhere is good. There are a couple other ones that are good. But most of them aren't that great. But we'll start off with the War of Nekara. I think is a good starting war until we can get the War of Shadows later. But... let's see here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and recruit him. And then we want to go this. So the big thing that you want to do with this is this right here gives you 60 HP back on every unit on the field. So if you get 10 spell casts, now it doesn't work on your constructs, it's only on your skeletons, but it's 60 HP back. I've tested this before. I wish it would tell you how much damage and how much healing different spells did, but it doesn't tell you that, so you just kind of have to guess and check. You can see with the healing, with the damage, you just kind of have to get a feel for it, I guess. But if you cast like 10 different spells, that's 600 extra health on your zombies and other stuff around the map. So it's decent, it adds up. That's, you know, roughly 8 to 10% more HP on some of your entry-level units, so it's pretty good. And this only costs 5 Winds of Magic, and this only costs 6. So what you want to do is just cycle your spell cast, just cast 1 of this, and then as soon as 7 seconds are up, cast 1 of this, and then just keep cycling back and forth so that you get the maximum amount of regeneration, and you'll just cast this on your Hero Titan over and over again. These are really the only spells that you need early on, so I would just max these out. These other ones, like, I don't know how much damage, that you don't need that until you get like a few Ashapti with Great Bows. I just don't know how much damage that does. We'll have to see. What we might do with the Shadows, we'll see when we get there. We'll see when we get there. What I might do with him is get a few points in these. Oh, it costs him less points to get this stuff decked out. But what I might do is level some of this up so that I can have that with the shadow magic. And just spam this, and then just use the shadow magic strictly for the vortex spell. I'll have to see about that. I mean, we would be able to get another power drain and arcane conduit. Might be a little greedy. As far as his skills, we'll talk about that really quick, and then we'll get moving and try to get into a fight here in a second. Obviously, you want Root Marcher, Passive Souls. You got to have the leadership. All of your units have really bad leadership. Oh, another thing, if you're working on Legendary, which I am, and I think they just changed this. I'm not sure. You have to go into campaign settings. You have to change the battle difficulty manually to very hard. Even though I came in on Legendary, somehow you can like lower the battle time. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. It always used to put it at the very hardest mode. But if you want the real challenge, you need to go to very hard battle difficulty on Legendary. So make sure that it's set that way, or you could, you know, not get the true challenge that you want. And if you're going this, you want the challenge. You don't pick Khatep if you don't want the challenge. If you want, you know, just a good, clean, fun, you know, campaign that's not nearly as challenging, pick one of the other three lords. If you're picking Khatep, there's no point unless you're really going hardcore. Okay, so we'll keep that guy. I'm going to go ahead and dismiss this Lure of Light. Is pretty awful. That's the one that he comes with, naturally, is Lure of Light. Which is just bad. I'm not even going to walk through. It's bad. You don't want Lure of Light. Exorcism is your bonus, which is -8 leadership for undead. Doesn't matter. So we're going to go ahead and kick this guy. And the reason we're doing that is we can just keep hiring more and more back because they're free. And we just want to hire all of these out. And that way we get a fresh stock coming in every turn while we sit here and wait. And then we can look and wait on the passives. And see if it has a really good passive. Like another Winds of Magic one would be fantastic. Or there's one that gives you, I think, like bonus hero recruit rank and a couple other things. So that's what we're going to do. Now here with the buildings, you have to choose early. Do you want growth or do you want chariots? And I think I need chariots early. It's a really good bargain. You get 2 of them and it's just 1,000 gold. So that's what we're going to go with. We're going to go with chariots. You don't want to upgrade this for 4,000. It's too much early on. Remember, we're going to need 4,000 to do this right for the Necrotect, which is a phenomenal bargain. Basically, colonizing something and leveling it all the way up to tier 3 would take you about 6,800 cash, or gold rather, I should say, and like 20 to 25 turns of growth. So 25 turn cooldown, it's basically 50% off, and you get that instant growth. So it's really, like, you have to play around this guy. This is a massive tool in your arsenal. So we need to keep 4,000 for that. And we're going to hire 3 units. See, we can only have up to 4 skeleton archers because of our buildings. We can have infinite of these guys, but only 3 skeleton archers. So we're going to sit here and chill. Make sure I have Jar Hoarder on a lot of these guys. Okay, this guy has the actual stuff. Okay, we're good. We're hiring. Now, as far as this goes, we're going to get all of his special stuff as it comes about. It's all good, so we'll get to that later. He does have Ushapti melee defense and attack, which is very good. He eventually gets to mount a Casket of Souls, which I'm not sure about this. We'll see when we get there. I have gotten this from the rights before. I'm not super impressed with it as an artillery piece. It just felt like it didn't do a lot of damage, but maybe I just wasn't microing it correctly. It says that it does a lot of damage, but in actual practice, it seems like it's very inaccurate. It doesn't have a lot of splash damage, but we'll see. So yeah, we'll be getting all of this. He has 1 quest, which is okay. I mean, the 60% drop chance is good, but the passive there is pretty garbage, but we'll do the quest and get it. Now over here, down here, it has some good stuff. We've got 20% replenishment. We want that. We do eventually want Jar Hoarder. Lightning Strike is great for later on in the campaign, and then 15% extra money is good. And then that's good. So this is all good. We'll get this early. Now, as far as this goes, this is very similar to the other lords in Warhammer 2, where you basically have just a collection of different units that are buffed up by things. Your missile damage is really low for the most part, so I wouldn't recommend getting that one. This is awesome. 12 armor and 8 melee defense is massive, especially for your entry-level units because their stats are so low. So going from 10 armor to 18 armor is an 80% increase in armor, and going in your melee defense from 30 to 38 is quite a large increase as well. So it's like 24% increase, something, somewhere 20, 24. So that's a really, really huge buff. And that also buffs Tomb Kings, which are a pretty good mid-tier unit that we're going to get. Or Tomb Guard, rather. So that's a no-brainer. You got to get that one. This might be good later on if we get enough Necropolis Knights, but I'm doubtful. Master Charioteer. The Chariots are good, but I think we probably won't get that until maybe much later. This is awesome. So this is 8 melee attack and defense for Hyro Titan, which I already have one of, and Ashapti, which I'm rushing. So after this, I want to get this as soon as I can. And then Stone Sentinels. Now that's for Necrosphinx and Scorpions. 8 melee attack. 12 charge bonus. 12% weapon strength. We might get that one, because I do like the Tomb Scorpions because you get 2 of them, and there is a special trait behind some of the Necrotechs that'll give you 2 more of them. So we might get this later in the game. And then this is once your units all get to tier, or to rank 7, you get some more bonuses. And then you get some replenishment and leadership here. Okay, so that's it for the skills. Alright, we're leveling up. Explain the text for the most part. Okay, we explained the Mortuary Cult. And I'm just sitting in the town right now because I'm just going to wait on them to occupy this, and then I'm going to turn on them. Just so that I can keep the public order relatively down. Now, you can take off the tax on the province, but the issue with that is it's going to lower your recruitment rate by 1, so you're only going to be able to recruit 2 per turn. So right now I'm going to keep it higher just so I can recruit more until I get to closer to 20. Okay, let's go ahead and go to next turn. It sucks because we're going to have to break a treaty to attack them, but that's just what you have to do, unfortunately. I hate being treacherous, but like if I try to end the non-aggression right now, then they're less likely to... They might think that I'm going to attack them, and then they'd be less likely to occupy this. And I can't really beat them early unless they are injured from occupying this, so... You just have to be patient a little bit. Huh. I mean, if he wants to ambush me, we can maybe kill him. That's an interesting proposition. Now, which one of these is the good one? Is it him? Okay, he's the good one, so we'll put him with the army. I haven't seen this permutation yet, so they could be standing right there. Now, I would be walking into an ambush, but I think I can maybe beat them. I will get surrounded, but let's try it out. Okay. Because I would love to get them. We'll fight him. That actually worked out really well. Like, the problem with the Beastmen, and it's super annoying early on. I can't remember if I mentioned this or not. I've tried to start this campaign like several times. It's just so hard to get a good roll on it. Is that they're invisible and they just run around all the time. So the fact that he just walked up right in front of me like that, where I could see where he was and I have an opportunity to fight him, is great. Sorry, I know that rattling kind of is loud. Oh god. Still eating some saltines. I'm still not feeling 100%. I was really sick for the last couple of days. But I gotta chew on the saltines a little bit here. Okay, so we've got archers. Gamble that. Hero Titan. Flock here. The birds are pretty uninspiring. So basically, we just want to face tank everything with our Hero Titan. I'm gonna take the birds over here to scout a little bit. We want to try to take them in this choke point if we can. Now, as your units take more damage, you eventually get healed over time. Then if you have enough casualties, then you could summon a free Ashapti, which disappears pretty quickly. Huh. It's interesting. I guess we could try to meet him over here. You gonna fire or what? Alright, there we go. Go, go, go. Actually, they're way too far ahead. We gotta regroup here. He has to be the first. He moves so slowly, though. I mean, look at this. That's pretty unfortunate. The range on that is so low. Alright, no, 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 no. Cancel, cancel, cancel. Yeah, so that's what you want to do, I think, is just cast it right where your Hero Titan is, your Vortex spells. Hope to crush him down like that. Where? Oh, God. Get him off. Oh, they're trying to focus fire my lord down. God, those birds are so bad. I can't even beat, like, their archers. Ungor Raiders, like, they're little tier 1 garbage archers. Okay, we got them all done. Now we need to come over here and kill this guy. He's running. Dude, skeleton archers are pretty good early against, like, non-armored units. They do so low damage, though. so little damage, I should say. They only have 16 missile damage, but, you know, there are a lot of them in a stack. I guess we just primarily need to use these birds to, well, I think they're going to get evaporated. I really don't care if they die. Okay, so there's the regeneration kicking in. Need to get my birds over here for the leadership so they don't crumble. Does a lot of damage, that sandstorm thing. Now, it is tearing up my own people too, but I mean, I don't care. They're just tier 1 spearmen. Alright, so we got them. The birds are a little dinged up here. Yeah, his archers are a really big deal, though, early on. Yeah, the Higher Titan really didn't even kill. I mean, he killed 90, but, like, these things killed about the same amount. But he's just, like, almost impossible to kill early on. He's just the super tank. Okay, that's fine. Good, well, we got a decent fight. We might be able to chase them down and get some more kills, too. If you can get rid of the Beastmen tribes and start to stabilize, this gets a lot easier early on. You just have to win that first fight against the Dark Elves also. When you turn on them and kill the girl who tries to come over and occupy that. She'll have like a 20 stack, but when she colonizes, it's only going to be like a 10 stack. So you can go with Endless March, Jar Hoarder, and Jar Hoarder is really good. I need 200 jars to get that first general, and I have 15 turns to do it. But getting the campaign movement range is really nice too. 343 gold is not much, but I don't want to do the replenishment. Huh. So I'm going to need 7,000 gold to get the shop team. But I also need 200 jars. That's so little money. I think I just have to... Whatever, I'll take the money just to make sure I can run him down, hopefully. To get that 20% movement range. Root Marcher to start. It was just giving me like huge odds before, and now it's not. Is it because my birds are hurt or something? I don't know what the calculations are there. As you can see, Khatep cannot fight. He is awful. He gets murdered by other lords, so you gotta watch out for that. Just kind of use those to scout. As you can see, those can't even beat like tier 1 archers, so the birds are pretty awful. They're just best used for running down fleeing units, pretty much. Like maybe harassing a little bit on the back line, or like charge cycling into the back of units so that you can break them. It's that type of stuff, but certainly not like front line. Okay. Got a good hit on him, sort of. Speed us up a little bit here. As you can see, my leadership is down from difficulty, and theirs goes up. I can't even click on them to see what their leadership is, but... And he's kind of standing in the way. I don't think he's taking too much friendly fire, though. Got him down, boys. He's trying to run straight for Khateps. That's what they love doing. Get my birds out of there. They're done. Get as many of those as we can. That dude's great on sieges. He just has so much HP, and has a ton of armor. He's great for that, but like open field, like he just moves so slowly. Look at this dude. I mean, he's baller. But compared to, like, Cetra's Chimerian War Sphinx, like, the Sphinx is so much better than that guy is. I mean, he does have, like, 20 extra Winds of Magic bound spells, like, free spells that you get, which is good. But, okay, I think that's all we're gonna get. Decisive victory. Good. Now, one thing about the Tomb Kings is they dramatically underestimate you in auto-resolve, which means that a lot of times you're not going to get decisive victories, but it also means they're not going to run from you, and they're more likely to stand and try to fight you, which is good. You don't have as much Benny Hill, you know, chasing people around in your territory. Good, this is great. This is great. being able to get them out of here this early. They get off my land. Get off my lawn. $283 is real skimpy. Go for the jars on that one, I think. They get to run again? Are you kidding me right now? I killed everything they had. Oh man, so they're not gone yet. That's really frustrating. Oh, I thought I had them taken care of. Okay, whatever. Let's just treasure hunt. I wonder what these books give. I wouldn't mind selling them. Huh. I don't... Those treasure hunts are about 25% good things for me, 25% neutral, and like 50% bad. I feel like it's just almost always a waste of time. Okay, we'll go with this. Now, he's going to run away again, so I just basically lost time over here. So let's go ahead and take the taxes off. Savable public order. And this guy's my jar hoarder. Anything else looks more spicy. That was pretty bad. Okay, so we'll go ahead and give him the boot. Actually, we can't. Can't do that just yet because he has to be in the province where I hire people to get the three levels. So I guess we just have to chill on that. Factions encountered. Okay, whatever. We're going to dismiss him pretty soon anyways. I kind of want to... I guess I could hold up on dismissing him and just scout up here. I just want to see what this army is composed of, so I know what I have to have before I can go fight him. So let's go scout with him. Okay. And I think that's about it. Gonna see if maybe I could get peace with them for some money, but they won't do it. Dang, that's really disappointing that they're not dead. Because now they're just gonna be able to sit there and just hide in the shadows and recruit some more units. They're being uncharacteristically brazen at the start of this campaign, which I like, so I can actually kill them. But they're gonna run somewhere and hide, probably. No. Actually, it looked like he may have been right there. So I might get to go run him down here. Where is this guy? He's over here somewhere. These Beastmen are so frustrating. Okay, so I could lower the cost. I said I don't really need this other stuff yet. It's nice, but I don't need it. Might just go for replenish and Canopic Jars. I mean, -2 cost is pretty good. Could get double the length. Could get 50% cooldown. And one less cost. I think I want that. That's a lot more damage. Yeah, we'll go with that. Replenishment is nice, but... Okay, let's see if we can hunt this guy down. Okay. How do they possibly think these guys have a chance? Like, that's what I don't understand. Why do I have to keep fighting these manually? That's what I'm saying, they really underestimate you. It's like, dude, this Hydra Titan could kill all of them by himself. Yeah, we have to try to kill every last one of them. And that's the thing, I don't have stuff that can run people down other than the birds right now. So, if I go back onto my territory, I can get the chariot. I mean, I guess this isn't the worst thing in the world. I'm going to get a lot of jars off of this, and I'm getting experience, so I guess it's not that bad. While I'm waiting on the Dark Elves to show up. Although I'm not getting to recruit, which sucks, but it's not giving me much cash, but it is giving me levels and Canopic Jars, which is going to be very handy. So, I mean, it could be worse. Really need these birds. I should have microed the birds a little better so that should have microed the birds a little better so that I had more of them in order to run down units better. These magic missiles just are not very accurate. Like, they've nerfed them a lot. Like, back in the day in Warhammer 1, magic missiles, especially in multiplayer, were very overpowered. For the most... I mean, very might be a strong word, but they were pretty overpowered. Get off me. Okay. Kill as many as we can. He does shoot lasers out of his eyes, which is pretty cool. God, they just like run along next to him and just don't even attack him hardly. Like, their attack animations, I feel like that's what's just something goofy with them and the bats. Like, any of these like low tier flying units Just feel like they just don't attack enough. Look at them. I mean, these are like garbage units. Like, these Ungor Archermen are just like some of the worst units in the game, and we still can't kill them with these birds. I feel like they just struggle a lot to actually get their attack animation off while they're chasing. There's something weird with it. I noticed that with the vampire counts too. Like, the bats seem like they would be a pretty good bargain, but in the end, they're not really that great. Scepter of Stability, what does that do? Interesting. Okay, well, I can cast that on the Hero Titan whenever I use my my Vortex ability. Not that it hurts him too much anyways, but 200 or jars. I think just jars. Get to keep running, baby. Keep on running. Huh. I mean, I am very tempted to go for these, but at the same time, giving my Hero Titan +8 melee attack and defense could be really nice too. I have to go for this though. It's too good as far as defense goes. Probably about near our time here. I think I'm just going to auto this one. Oh, I didn't get any jars or anything? Oh. That sucks. I guess they just made me take the money on that. Okay. Now, if that army goes north of Nagaron, it's going to be hard, but I've seen them as low as through here before, so I think they just patrol. Okay. Yeah, it's all good. Go to the next one. Looking on time. So this is a pretty good start. It's a pretty good start. We got rid of one of the Beastmen. We've leveled up a little bit. Alright, so we gotta sit over here and chill for a little bit. I Okay, so I can get another knowledgeable one. I might just get... I know that's going to slow me down with this guy, but I think I might just go ahead and get the other knowledgeable one. Yeah, let me just go ahead and do that. Get rid of him. Actually, I should have gotten rid of the other one. I should have hired the other one, gotten rid of it, and then hired this one. Because knowledgeable is pretty good. I'm looking on Necrotex. Sphinx Carver's great. Sort of. You do get an extra War Sphinx, so that's a tier 5 unit. I feel like the Scorpions are the best ones. There's one that gives +2 Scorpions, which is amazing. Okay. That's pretty good. Okay, so we're just going to recruit, get our chariots. And I think we'll go ahead and tax again. Just so I can hire some more stuff. Grab our next archer there, okay. Hag Grafe looks pretty powerful. Alright, I think we're just going to chill, wait on Clan Karand here. Remember, we need to get to 200 so we can get that second general. They want us to give them a gift? No. Can't really do any diplomacy because we have negative 40 with them, so... Some Scorched Bones. Thinking if I want to, I mean, having more of that 50%, that's... What's its cooldown typically? 30 seconds. 15-second cooldown. I mean... That is pretty sweet. Would let us eventually get over here and get Power Drain, which is very nice. And then Arcane Conduit eventually is good too. I don't need the replenished troops yet. I would like that, obviously. In a little bit, that'll be good. Jar Hoarder's really nice, though. I'm interested to try this Skull Storm. I think I'll go with this. I keep leveling this up. Cheaper spells, more cast equals more healing on your whole army. I like that. And I always get the spears, just because they have higher melee defense. That's what I want out of these guys, is just to hold the ground. Just hold the line, while I just keep charge cycling with chariots and running over people with the Titan and all that stuff. Okay, what else? Huh. I mean, +5 melee attack and defense for Tomb Scorpions is pretty good. I'm not going to have Tomb Scorpions for a while, but that would be really nice. Okay. Hiding that, just waiting, hanging out. I think we'll be about at the end of this episode. Once again, I'm not occupying that because I'm leaving it for bait for the Dark Elves to come down there and take it, and then I'm going to kill them when they do it. And then that's how I start making money, is I kill them, and then I start going through, taking out their other stuff. I hope. I mean, every other campaign that I've run, the other two, they always come down from here and try to take this. And then I have a non-aggression pact with them, so they think I'm not going to get them.
Come to the Lich Lord. We have matters to discuss, yes.
Non-aggression pact. I mean, I'm probably not going to fight him, but... yeah, I need to go north, because I do want to take out this rogue army. And take out Nagaron before he gets too strong. Malekith, that is. And maybe this is worth it. For 100 gold. Who are they at war with? Yeah, I don't think I particularly need any of this stuff yet. Sure, whatever. Oh, there they are. Okay. So they're rolling up. Alyssa. Here we go. Okay, what does this guy have? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's perfect. Yes! That's perfect for my strategy. I haven't seen one that has that passive, but that's like one of the best ones you can get. That fits right in with what I want to do, which is 2 extra Ushabti. Now, I'm not going to be able to get the bow one just yet. It's going to have to be tier 4. That's probably even better than the Scorpion Carver. Okay, it does let him actually gather together with me. Okay, so now I can perform this right. Go ahead and start the cooldown on that. Now, you want to use that guy very, very often. Like, every time it's off cooldown. And I think you just want to raise... Like, if there's a good capital or whatever, I don't know. If you can't get it at tier 3, like, if it's a tier 1 or a tier 2, you might consider actually just raising it and then building it up again with the Necrotect. I don't know how useful it'll be later on in the campaign. It probably will be very useful. But right now, it's amazing because of what I'm going to do up here. Now, I could just put him in this army just so that he gains some levels and experience. And he does give the replenishment. I do want to scout and see what this army is, though. It's about to run over this way. I think it just does laps. Nah, I think I need to level him up more than anything, so we'll just put him in here. He doesn't do anything, per se. We're just going to have him hanging out in the back. But he will get experience from the fights, so... The Necrotech's actually a pretty decent little fighter. He's alright. I mean, he gets plus 20 versus infantry, so he's 65 damage. Or 65 melee attack. So he's a decent fighter. Okay, and she's probably going to colonize this in the next couple of turns. I think anyone else is going to be cool with us. I can scout with the Necrotect up there. That's what I'll do. I'll scout with the Necrotect, the special one, because I'm not going to build this up just yet. No, she's going to colonize it next turn. I don't want to colonize it. Okay, so I can get this one eventually. You do get a Casket of Souls, which is cool, and you get recruit rank, and so we want to do this when we hire our next general, but remember we want to get to 200 Canopic Jars by the time this is done in 9 turns, which is going to be a little on the tough side, but... But we don't want to colonize this just yet because the Beastmen might come up here and mess with us. Take the tax off, get a little extra public order here, because when I leave and I go on this campaign, the public order is going to go negative for a little while, so I want to store up as much public order as we can get, and I think we'll have a good fight coming up next. How are we looking on time? We're over, so it's going to be next episode. We'll start off with the fight versus Alyssa, but it's a pretty good start so far, so hopefully this works out. Got a good strategy, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Have a good day.